We got a pretty nice day today, and I thought I was going to use all of it working on that man lift, trying to troubleshoot it to see if I could get it running. Well, that didn't take near as long as I thought it was going to be. I should have figured that out a long time ago. But anyway, I got it going now. Well, one of the things I want to do with it, like I said, since it's a nice day, is to put these 2x4s up for kind of rafters up there and put some plastic over it to kind of cover this addition on the house up so that it can maybe dry out a little bit or stay dry or something. I'd like to have the floor joists and stuff dry out and stay dry before I start putting insulation and sheeting on top of it and all that stuff. And then of course when we do put the sheeting down, I want it to be able to stay dry. So these are 20-foot 2x4s that we salvaged out of some crates here several years ago. I dug out of my wood drying shed the other day. So I need 7 of those, which is what I've got there to put up for rafters here right now to put the visqueen on. I tried doing this before with the ladder. I've got a 10-foot step ladder up there, and it's just not tall enough. Maybe 15 years ago or so when I had that ladder and I was younger, I would have dared to climb up there and do that off the ladder, but too old and fat and gimped up to do that now. So anyway, that's one of the reasons I got the man lift going. Oh, you got sauerkraut?
Sauerkraut.
Ready?
You gotta taste this.
Okay.
You think it's ready?
That's pretty good.
Can it up tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow or the next day. Can give it a couple more days, but it's good the way it is now.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It's yummy.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit more wouldn't hurt, but
All right, well, we can let it go a little more.
you let me taste her sauerkraut. She's got fermenting in the crock of cabbages that she grew this year out in her garden. It's tasting pretty good. It's just about probably close to ready to can, put away. Well, anyway, I'm going to go get that man lift going. See if I can get that done before it gets dark. And if I do, then I'll get the plastic out and try to put plastic up. Well, a little synopsis here of what's been going on. I bought this Genie S65 man lift here. I used it last summer quite a bit, doing some repairs on the roof of the house and some repairs of the roof on the hangar. And then I was able to get up and put gutters on this side of the house and run plumbing down so we could run the water off of the roof of the house down into the water tank for a domestic water source. Last fall, almost a year ago, started it up one morning. It was a cold morning and I started it up to let it warm up, and when I came out to use it and switched it over to the man basket, the engine quit, and then I never could get it started again. The weather was either too bad, raining, or I was too busy with other things when the weather wasn't bad to get to working on it. Well, I started digging around with it a little bit last week, and again it was raining and I didn't want to spend too much time with it, but yesterday the weather broke. We had a break in the weather and it was a nice day. I just decided I was going to devote the whole day to working on this thing and see if I couldn't get it running. Well, by pure accident and not because of my own brilliant deductive reasoning skills, I found out what was wrong with it and got it running. It didn't take very long to do, so I went ahead and came up here and started working on the addition on the house. I had a bunch of 20-foot 2x4s that I stuck up there on the house. When I put the house together, had scaffolding up there and everything, I determined that I was going to put a shed roof off that back of that house, and I put a nailer up there for that specific purpose. Well, I've decided now I'm not going to use that shed roof style. I'm going to go ahead and make trusses to match the peak of the roof the way it is now. But anyway, I dug out some 20-foot 2x4s and I stuck up there and I nailed onto that nailer up there on the house, and I previously got some panels that I'd made for a paint booth in the hangar when I rebuilt the fuselage of the airplane, and I got those panels out and stuck them out here on the addition on the house, and I put those 2x4s on that. So anyway, I did that yesterday, and then I had this plastic that we'd had over the top of the blow-up paint booth here outside to keep it from leaking. We took that blow-up paint booth down the other day. Well, I took that plastic and I just tacked it up on there. I've got it actually nailed up pretty good on there across the top and across the back, but it got dark on me. I was working on it the last few minutes in the dark, or the last 20-30 minutes or so in the dark with a flashlight in my mouth, putting staples and stuff down in that to tack it down, and I didn't get it tacked down completely the way I'd like. Well, it turned out it was a good thing I did it yesterday, because the forecast was only one good day and then it's supposed to start raining again. About 8 o'clock last night it started raining and pouring down rain and the wind blowing, and it did that most of the morning this morning. We got a little break in the weather right now. I've got some other things I want to do, but while we got a break in the weather, I went ahead and started that machine up, and I'm going to go up there and finish putting staples down in those 2x4s up there to make sure that that plastic doesn't get all tore up. I've got it tacked down pretty good across the top and down across the bottom, but in the middle of the field I don't have any staples or tacks or anything on that, so the wind starts blowing, it'll start lifting that thing quite a bit, and it puts a lot of force on it, it'll tear it up. So I'm going to go ahead and go tack it down some more while I have the chance before the weather turns to crap again. And the sky is pretty black right now. It looks like we got another squall coming, so I'll see if I can get this done before we get the camera all wet and everything all wet again. All right, well, that thing's tacked up there pretty good now. Oh, I'm really glad I got that machine going there. That makes a lot of difference for doing stuff like that. Well, this is what I was using to tack that plastic up with, and I use it for my roofing underlayment and stuff like that. And it's basically just a Bostitch staple gun. It uses staples. It's an air stapler, but it's got a little addition on it, and you can see this column right here. Well, that fills up with these little plastic washers, where they about an inch across or so. This thing has a piston in there that slides those washers over underneath the staple, and then the staple goes through them, and that holds them down. That gives a lot more surface area holding down soft goods like roofing underlayment, tar paper, plastic, stuff like that. Makes a big difference, and stuff doesn't get torn through on there. I'd never seen anything like that before. I had the nails with the plastic washers on them that I've used before, but I'd never seen one of these staple guns like that. And then I found them in Harbor Freight, and they had it pretty inexpensive, so I bought one of them to try it out. They come in little plastic cases with several strips of these washers in it and staples, and it worked really good. Well, I used it a lot. In fact, up there on the house, all of the Tyvek and stuff on the house was tacked down with that stuff. Problem was that I used up all the staples and the little plastic washers, and we went down to Harbor Freight, and they don't carry it in stock anymore. They don't carry that thing anymore. So I did some investigation, and I found a whole bunch of different styles of them and stuff, hand tackers and all kinds of different things. I bought this Bostitch one. Well, I bought staples and the washers first because they looked like they're exactly the same thing, and the washers would have worked in my Harbor Freight gun, but the staples are too narrow of a crown for the Harbor Freight gun, and they wouldn't fit on the staple gun. Oh, I probably could have modified the Harbor Freight gun to make it fit, but I went ahead and bought this Bostitch gun. I've had good luck with these Bostitch air guns and stuff. So anyway, that tacks it down pretty good, and that holds that plastic pretty good. I mean, eventually when it's exposed to the sunlight and stuff, that plastic washers break down, but we don't have to worry about that too much around here. They last several years out in the open like that. Hopefully you get everything covered up before they break down. Well, anyway, I'm really glad I got that boom lift going again. That's makes things a lot easier for getting up and down on some of that stuff. A lot easier than trying to manipulate ladders and make scaffolding and stuff like that, especially for doing something like tacking that roofing material down when there's no solid roof sheeting underneath it or anything. So I'm done with that for now. I got to go find something else to do. I still got to do a couple things in the hangar to get it straightened out, get some stuff moved around so I can start getting vehicles in there and working on them. Judy's car needs some work done to it, so I've got to get that done and get it in there. If it was going to be nice like this all the time, I could not worry about it and do it outside, but this is a rare occurrence in this country, especially this time of the year. I was worried about that rain shower coming over. Well, it's starting to spit out on a little bit of rain right now, just a few little drops. So anyway, I guess I better get this thing put away before it gets all wet.